Hello, everyone. My name is Julianne Meyer, and I am the host of Own Your Wellness. I am excited to be here today. But before we get started, I do want to give a shout out to all my Canadian friends and wish them all a happy Thanksgiving. I wish I could be there with you, but I have got something special that I'm doing, so I don't feel left out either. Today, I have an amazing guest. His name is Danny Crawford. He is an author, a fitness expert, a father of three. And, when I got introduced to him and did my research, I was so impressed with how he helps people that I just needed to have this conversation and share him with you as well. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Hi, how are you, Danny? Welcome.
How's it going? How's it going, Julie?
It's so good to have you here. As I said, I've been looking forward to this conversation for, gosh, it's been like, what, a couple weeks now? So
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
yes. So before we started, you and I had a little bit of chance to talk. So I know a little bit about, what you're up to, but I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself and your own wellness journey.
Okay, good. All right. So, as you said, I'm a new author of a new book titled "How to Lose Weight and Never Find It Again." I'm a personal trainer, and I specialize in weight loss, behavioral change, and group fitness. When you mention my wellness journey, I'm assuming you're saying me personally, right? And
Yeah.
I always say this: I wasn't always in good shape. I wasn't always fitness minded. I had a lot of wake up calls. One was losing my parents at a young age, my mother and my stepfather. The other was, my kids being born, and me not wanting to repeat the cycle. So me making that conscious decision to change my life, to lose weight, to become healthy, and then I'm a natural helper. It just led me to, wanting to help other people.
I'm glad that you shared that because I don't know if you've ever heard or seen that show, Fit to Fat to Fit.
Yes.
And it's, because, which I think is a little disturbing. I mean, I love the idea and the premise behind it, but the fact that you're willing to share that you haven't always been in the best of shape makes you easier to, listen to, I guess, because you actually do know what it's like.
Know the struggle. Absolutely. We know the struggle. They even say, drug counselors that used to be drug addicts are the best counselors because they've been through it. They know the pain.
Well, it's funny because I used to work in addiction recovery. Not that I was a counselor, but that was, almost every single person there that was a counselor was an ex-drug addict or alcoholic. And it did make a difference because they've walked in your shoes. So you do understand. It's not like you just naturally have always been this way and, never once had to struggle. But I think too that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you think that even people who are in shape, I mean, it takes work. It takes effort. I don't like the word work because that seems kind of negative, but it takes effort to stay healthy and to make those choices. What are some of the things that you are like non-negotiable for you, with your own, the way you take care of yourself?
There's a few non-negotiables. As far as the things that I eat, there's certain foods that I just absolutely I've done so much research on, so learned so much how detrimental it is to your health. I just will not partake anymore. That's things like pork or beef. I still eat fish. I still eat chicken. And I know some certain those aren't good. We can find bad in everything, right?
Yeah.
But, so stuff like that. Just also like living an unhealthy lifestyle, smoking cigarettes or things like that. Those things are non-negotiable. I'm not looking to be approved when it comes to certain things, but I can't think of anything like right off the top, but there's a few things. I know as we go along, we probably come up with some more.
Oh yeah, no, that's always the way it works, always. But the one thing that took me the longest to figure out in my own wellness journey and as a personal trainer was that the importance of sleep. I never really realized, that resting and taking care, the stretching and all of that, how important that was. I just thought, I'll do it when I die, but I didn't realize that I'll die faster if I don't do it.
And the same thing. I was, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a hustler, I'm a go-getter, and
Mhm.
sleep was the last thing on my mind. I was up all night, or stay up all night, wake up early in the morning, and I had to check myself because you don't get the results you want to get if you don't get
Mhm.
enough rest. You don't, you're not as productive. You become cranky. You become, short tempered
Mhm.
because you didn't get rest. But you learn that in due time as you get more in tune with your body and your behavior. So sleep and rest is very important.
No, I love that too because I really just it took me the longest to figure that out, and I love that people are starting to talk about that now. But for somebody that is just starting out on their own, like they're trying to figure out a workout program, they're trying to figure out, what's going to work for them, what would you suggest? Like, where should they go? How should they start?
Well, I would say, and I'm not advocating for personal trainers, but it's always good to get an expert opinion.
Hmm.
And you just be careful with the personal trainer. Not every personal trainer is a good personal trainer.
Yeah.
So you want to interview the trainer just as much as they're interviewing you. You want to ask them, what are their training style? Their
Hmm.
personality has to match yours, right? You don't want to get a personal trainer who's a drill sergeant and you don't respond well to that. You want to ask a personal trainer some results, like I want to see your before and afters or testimonials, or do you have anybody I could talk to that could vouch for you?
Hmm.
Any real personal trainer won't get offended when you ask them those questions. They'll be happy. They already have them all lined up. I have a whole list of people or before and afters that I can show social proof. And also you want to get a personal trainer that certified.
Hmm.
There's a lot
Yes.
of trainers out there that just because they look good or just because they are in the gym all the time, it takes, it shows when a person is certified, it shows you that they're taking it serious. A person is certified, they have insurance, they're really up on their game. So you want to make sure the
Hmm.
person is certified. Because also, even as a personal trainer, and once you become certified, you have to be CPR and AED certified. So you got to
Hmm.
make sure that they're able to take care of you, God forbid if something happens. So that's one
Well,
thing I would.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because before COVID hit, I was working at a gym and we had a client there that he just wasn't, he literally almost died of a heart attack right there. And thank goodness every one of us that worked there, we were able to take care of him. But if we hadn't been there, he would have died. And I mean, people don't think about that kind of thing, but it is important. You just never know. And I mean, he was a healthy person per se. It wasn't like it was some shock that I mean, it was a shock is what I was trying to say. So you just never know. But
Never
I
know.
love that.
I've been in that position. I actually had to perform CPR twice.
Oh, wow.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, it's you just, there's some horror stories about that. And so, I mean, I think it is important too to mention that if you do have any sort of issues that it is important to see your doctor to see what your limitations are because there's certain things that you don't think about. Like I have a client with glaucoma, so she can't have her head at certain heights. If you
Right.
don't know that, then you can really hurt yourself.
And I always also tell my clients to listen to their body. Don't listen to me.
Hmm.
I will tell you to come on, keep going. Come on, Julie, you got it. But if
Yeah,
you feeling dizzy or nauseous, that's your body telling you to kind of take a little break. Get your marbles back, and you need to communicate that with me, and I will definitely tone it down or give you a time to take some time as a break.
exactly. And I love that you mentioned, working with a personal trainer because sure, you can do all sorts of things on your own, but it also typically takes you a lot longer. One, two, you're not going to push yourself as hard as a personal trainer will. And three, you get to learn new things and have correct form. So the likelihood of you hurting yourself goes down quite a bit.
And then I talk about this in my book. The personal trainer will hold you accountable.
Hmm.
And that person, that trainer, will call you, will expect you to be there at the gym. But I do find a lot of people can't afford personal trainers.
Yeah.
But there's other options like joining like a group fitness class, or joining an online class. There's so many other options that you can do to fit your budget. So definitely see what you can afford and what's best for you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you talk about that too, because like we don't want anybody to not work out just because they don't have it in their budget to hire a personal trainer, or maybe once or twice. That way, you know what you're doing with certain things. Is it, it just sort of, you can always find a way to make it work for you.
There's so many resources out there nowadays.
Exactly. So how did it work for you when COVID hit? Did you have to change everything that you did as far as,
Oh yeah, definitely. So before COVID, I was doing all of my sessions in person.
Mhm.
I was renting out space in gyms, teaching my classes at different gyms. And then when COVID hit, obviously everything shut down.
Mhm.
Um, the ironic thing, or coincidentally, I got shoulder surgery the same week that COVID hit. So I was out of commission anyway for a couple of months. And then around June, July, one of my clients, her name's Aisha. She's probably watching this, Aisha Robinson. She hit me up and she was like, "Come on, Dan, we need you. We're getting out of shape over here." And I'm like, "I'm still recovering from my shoulder." And she convinced me to do it on Zoom. And
Mhm.
I wasn't too thrilled about doing it because I didn't think it would be effective.
Mhm.
So I said, "Listen, if we're gonna do it, I'm gonna need your help, and you need to gather your friends, and I bring my people." And we wound up doing it, and that was in August of last year, and we've been doing it for over a year now, and it's just been moving, and it's so effective. I didn't realize how effective it was. I could see everybody; they can hear me. We still have the music playing, and we just do a couple of challenges. Like I got a 4-week challenge starting tomorrow actually, and it's amazing. So shout out to Aisha for putting me out there. I mean, putting it out there. What's up, Jackie?
So for people to reach out for this fitness challenge that you have starting, they just go to your Instagram?
Yeah, just go to my Instagram, send me a DM. It's all over my Instagram to post about it, but definitely send me a DM. It starts tomorrow, so you will want to get on it as soon as possible, and I'll tell you more about it in the message.
So my question too for you then is, for those people who maybe are watching later and miss the starting, do you do this on a fairly regular basis? Should they still reach out to you via Instagram or?
Yes. So what we do is we do it in increments. So we do a 4-week challenge, and like the first challenge before this, it was for beginners and into. I mean, just for beginners. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
This one coming is called the Fall Back into Fitness. Playing on the word for fall, and we're trying to be proactive and get in shape and lose some more pounds because we know the holiday season is coming
Mhm.
up. So we do that for 4 weeks, and then we're gonna take like a week off and do another 4 weeks. So just to give people time to reset and regroup and take care of things that they couldn't take care of because they were so committed to this challenge. But
I
yeah,
love that.
ongoing.
So you brought up something that I think is a really important thing that I'd love to talk on, especially because it is Canadian Thanksgiving today. I used to live there. That's why I'm kind of, yeah, I lived there for about 6 years. So I'm an honorary Canadian. But, the holidays come and all of a sudden there's all this food and, all these things that are technically not healthy. What
Mhm.
are your thoughts about holiday? I don't even like to use the words cheating or anything like that, because that makes food seem negative, and I don't want people to have a negative thought when it comes to food. But what is your philosophy?
So I'm so happy you asked that question because I get it a lot. I call it the big threes, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. New Year. So think about it. It's only 3 days.
Mhm.
Thanksgiving meal, Christmas meal, and New Year celebration. And when you break it down, it's only technically 3 days. It's not that bad,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming, especially if you're working with me and we're working it throughout the whole year, we're working out, we're staying consistent most of the time. 85% of the time we're eating clean, we're exercising. So guess what? Thanksgiving, go ahead and get the biggest plate. Get seconds if you want. That's not going to affect what you've been doing all year.
Mhm.
Same thing for Christmas. Just don't let the holiday season be November, December, January. That's not the big threes. It's Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year. And when you look at it from that perspective, you realize, like, wow, I don't really have to fall off the wagon just because it's the holiday season. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
the challenges and having a trainer or joining, fitness classes come into play, because we're not going to stop training. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to stop putting these challenges up. So you look at it like that, and then enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy Christmas, and pop that champagne on New Year's Day. You deserve it.
I love that. It's true when you put it out like that.
Mhm.
And there's always, the thing that I've discovered too is, there's a lot of parties and things like that, but there's ways around it. And, most of the time, it's not the food is the reason why you're there. It's the company and the environment that you want to be in. So, eat before you go.
You have to. It's so funny you say that. I remember I was training a client, and when we would train, she was a coworker as well. So every Tuesday she would bring donuts to the other coworkers, and we
Mhm.
had a gym in our office. So I would partake, because I'm like, and then I would feel bad afterwards, like, why am I eating these donuts? Because it's in the morning, the sugar, the craving,
Mhm.
the temptation. So what I did was I started eating something healthy before on Tuesdays, knowing I was gonna meet with her. I eat some oatmeal, banana. Next thing,
Yeah.
now I'm not hungry. My stomach has food in it, so it took away those cravings. So you have to be proactive and be prepared. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like even have because my big thing was always I never had snacks with me, so I'd have my whole thing planned out. I'm really good about eating what I say I'm going to eat, but let's say I get stuck somewhere, then all of a sudden game on because I can't get home to my meal or whatever. That's what's next. I started carrying stuff with me. I've got them like hidden in my car so that if I'm in a hurry or then I don't have to, stop through that drive through that I might have done otherwise. So yeah.
Absolutely. Got to be prepared.
Something that I know that you focus on that you are an expert in is mindset. And a lot of people don't really realize that, you know, it starts with that. I mean, you have to have your mind right in order for your body to follow through. So, how
Absolutely.
did you become conscious of that yourself?
So with mindset, what I realized, what made me really dig deep into that was when I would train my clients, um, we would lose weight, and I say we because I feel like their goals are my goals. So
Hmm.
we would lose weight, we would get in good shape, and then when the training was over, when I take the training wheels off, I see them a couple of months, or I noticed that they were gaining the weight back. So I said, now I got to start training their mind. They have to
Hmm.
really realize this is a lifestyle, and
Hmm.
I tapped into what helped me um, get into that mindset. And there's a few things that helped me. One was surrounding myself around fitness-minded people. I started hanging around people that were on the same mindset as me when it came to
Hmm.
fitness and being healthy and eating clean. Another thing I took up was meditating. Meditating was good with helping me relieve stress. It was good with helping my blood pressure get lowered. It
Yeah.
helping me, lower my anxiety, and that in turn stopped me from being a stress eater. A lot of people are
Hmm.
stress eaters. So if food helps you, or you think it helps you relieve stress, let's find something healthier that's going to help you relieve stress. Find something
Hmm.
that's going to mentally clear your mind, so you realize, wait, I'm not hungry, I'm just stressed out.
Yeah.
So that's another thing with mindset. Another thing is, I always say, tap into the reason why you started, and don't be shallow about it. Don't say I want to lose weight, or I want to get healthy because I'm going on a trip, or because I'm gonna be in a wedding. I tell
Hmm.
people to dig deep. I was just talking about this the other day. You want to dig deep. You want to find a real reason that you can anchor on when you feel like shifting, or you feel like giving up. That reason why, like your children, or you want to have a better quality of life, and or you're sick, you have a chronic disease that you can reverse through diet and exercise. That anchor, that reason why, will keep you focused, and you just be in that mindset. And like I said, just it's a combination. of things. It's not just one thing.
Mhm.
You have to diversify your fitness portfolio, so it all helps you stay focused.
I'm glad that you talk about that too. And something I really want to say about meditation is that I don't know if you know about telomeres, but telomeres, the longer you start out with longer telomeres and the older you get, the shorter they get. And that's like an aging thing. But you can lengthen your telomeres through meditation as well. So if you want to stay younger longer, that's another reason. So, maybe vanity might play a part in that. Especially if you live in Newport, then. But I'm sorry for all my friends in California. Anyway, but yeah, that's another good reason to meditate as well. And then something that you mentioned too that I love is like having that in your portfolio, in your bag of tricks, your toolbox, because I just tore my deltoid, and so it's not bad, so I can still move it and everything, but I'm telling it's changed the way I work out, but that doesn't mean that I stop.
Right, exactly.
It's just
It's the same, piggybacking off of what you said. Like, for example, let's say someone is an avid gym goer, right? And that's what they do to stay focused. Them going to the gym is their main thing that they do. They don't really have fitness-minded friends. They don't really focus on nutrition. They don't really meditate. They don't have all of these other tools in their toolbox to keep them focused. They just focus on the gym. But look what happened. COVID happened. And now the gym is out of the equation. And a lot of people, that's how they put on that quarantine 15, what they called it, or that COVID-19, 19 pounds. So you got to really diversify and always have other things that you can lean on, because it's not always going to be what you want it to be,
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful, I mean, that applies to all life, not just, really we get into like this false sense of safety and routine, and you just never know what's going to happen. So having backups and plan Bs and Cs and Ds and stuff really helps, just to not be stuck in, because especially if, like you said, going to the gym is your outlet and all of a sudden that's gone, now you're stuck with the crazy head,
Exactly.
Now what are you going to do?
I
I love that. So, what about because you mentioned like Zoom classes. Are you still doing those then, even though the gyms have opened?
Yep, absolutely. We're still doing them. I do Zoom. I haven't did any one-on-one sessions since COVID, like in person.
Wow.
The first time I've done group classes was I just came from a wellness retreat with my great friend Jackie and a whole host of other, trainers and fitness experts and doctors and psychologists. We all went out to St. Martin, and it was called the Girlfriend's Getaway. And we did training in the morning. We did yoga, meditation. We had talks on mindset, fitness. We had talks on with finances. We served healthy foods, but that was the first time that I've trained in person since COVID, and I can't lie, I missed it. I missed that. I could reach out and touch you. I haven't had that in so long. I didn't realize that I missed it until the retreat that we just came from.
I love that you shared that. I actually have kept a few clients through COVID, but we train outside and I don't touch them. But it's weird because even still, like every once in a while I'll go to correct somebody and I'm like, I put my hand, I'm like, whoop, just in case, because I do have those, what's it called? At risk clients. So you got to be careful. But anyway, we do have to go to a commercial break, Danny. So we'll be right back in just a minute. Okay.
That's right. Let's do it.
Oh, I know I say this a lot, but I'm enjoying this conversation, and Danny is so much fun, such great energy, and I don't even want to stop to do this, but we do have to go to commercial. But before we go, I want to say hello to everybody who is watching us live. Welcome. We are so excited to have you here, and we will be right back after these messages.
Now, you can vibrationally align your aura. You can gain a larger and spiritual perspective on life, relationships, God, people, wellness, and money. You can also have moments of meditation and reflection any time of the day. And reading the thrilling, adventurous, and mystical story of Shiga will just add more faith to your daily experience of the mystery of the universe.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually, you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
As human beings, we are meant to thrive in an environment where true love is shared, where we are welcome just as we are. A space we connect with others with the single purpose to find God as love within. A place we learn to raise our consciousness and vibration for happiness, wellness, and wealth creation. Transformative, an online spiritual gathering for everyone. This invitation is sent to you by www.livingfaithschool.org.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us now, this is Own Your Wellness. I'm Julianne Meyer, and we have an awesome guest. His name is Danny Crawford. Let's bring him back. Hello, sir. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, as the commercials were playing, I was thinking about how many people actually reach out to you and that you help on a daily basis. So I know that they can reach out to you via Instagram, correct? So that's the best way. But you also have a book that did you say just recently came out?
Yeah, actually, beginning of September, it came out. It launched. Yep.
Oh, I love that. So I am going to put the link for that in the chat so that people can go ahead and check that out. And so it's on Amazon, correct?
For the cover, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
They don't judge your book by its cover, but you're going to want to get that one just for the cover.
I love that. Oh, that's amazing. So, no, I love that. So would you mind telling us a little bit about, because I love the how to lose weight and, just you don't ever want to find it again.
Right. How to lose weight and never find it again.
So how did you, obviously this is something that is timely, especially with, everybody kind of struggling with weight in general because of COVID. That was a great excuse not to do anything and sort of wait. But what kind of stuff is covered in your book?
So I tap into like 9 steps to fitness success, right? 9 steps. So one of the steps is set realistic goals. You get a lot of people that they have these aspirations, which is high, or these expectations, which is great, but sometimes the time frame that they want to reach it is like too short, or it's not realistic. So I try to help my clients break it down into something that's achievable for them,
Mm-hmm.
and to focus on the day to day instead of the finish line. You run a marathon, it's one step at a time, 1 mile at a time. Any marathon will tell you that they're not thinking about the 25th or the 26th mile. They're thinking, I got 1 more mile. I got 1 more mile, or things like that. And I break that down into the setting realistic goals with smart goals, and
Mm-hmm.
just being realistic. And I compare it to like planting a seed. And I want you to think like a farmer. Anybody that plants a seed, they're not expecting it to sprout and grow, right that second. It has to be nurtured. It has to be fed. It has to, when the sun rays, I say that's like positive energy. You have to give your seed, and then you have to water it and protect it. Make sure it's planted good. You do the same thing with your goals. And then after a while, when that seed grows, then you'll be able to see that, and you'll appreciate it even more, right? So when after you plant that seed grows, and that's your goal, you reach your goals. I tell them, plant another seed. Don't stop planting seeds. And every seeds have different needs, but still plant that another seed. Another step is, I said it earlier, surround yourself around fitness-minded people. You want to make sure you're around people that align with your goals.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to Les Brown, and he quoted Sidney Poitier. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a quote from a quote. And he said, Sidney Poitier said in a book, when you walk with someone, you begin, either you walk with their pace or they walk with your pace.
Mm-hmm.
So who pace are you walking with? Are they aligned with you? So you want to walk with somebody that's going to match your pace, if that's where you're going, or you're going to match their pace so they could take you to a higher, better place. You don't want to walk with someone who's straggling along, turning around, and you want to make sure you align yourself with fitness or like-minded people. Another chapter, I'm not going to give all of the chapters, but I'm going to give a few more. Another chapter I talk about is meditation. And just really, and people find it hard to meditate, and they think that when their mind wanders that they're not meditating. But that's part of the practice. That's part of the exercise. And every time your mind wanders, you want to pull it back. And as you do it more often and more often, your mind isn't gonna wander as much. That's part of the exercise. Next thing you know, you're like deep into meditation. You didn't even realize it. I'm gonna give you one more. Another thing that I said is go to the doctor. Get yourself checked out. I was one of those guys before I was healthy. I hated going to the doctor, and then once I got healthy, I couldn't wait to go to the doctor because I knew I was doing the right thing. But then I went to the doctor and found out I had an issue, but that I didn't know. But I thought I was healthy. Even though I'm healthy, you just never know. So always get yourself checked out. And to get the rest of the steps, you're gonna have to purchase the book.
I think that's fair. I like that you mentioned about the doctor, because you'd never know. And just because things look or seem a certain way doesn't mean that, it is as it seems. And it's easier to catch things early.
Yeah, early detection is key. I was just about to say that. So many people, catch cancer in stage 3 or stage 4, where, it could have been caught earlier if they would have, gotten checked consistently.
Exactly. And, back to the meditation thing, because I think, that was something that I struggled with, and I still do sometimes. But the thing is it's a meditation practice, hence
Right.
practice. And you're not doing it wrong. Get that out of your head. You're not doing it wrong. It's just an experience, and it is what it is. And that's the whole point, is just to sit with whatever it is. And sometimes it's sitting there, even though your mind is just going like, I can't do this. You can sit there for
yes, just being still, removing your phone, removing distractions, and just being still. That's very important. And what I use is I do guided meditation. I still haven't reached the point where I'm able to sit in complete silence. What I do is I put headphones on, I go to YouTube, and I look for gratitude guided meditation. I look for manifestation guided meditation. And that helps me because it tells you, it prompts you when to breathe, when to release. So it helps out a lot, definitely.
Absolutely.
Commute.
Yeah. So, I know that you have 3 kids of your own. So something that we were talking about before we came on the show was about childhood obesity and how, for me, it seems like something that we can eliminate. So as a parent, what are some things that parents can do to help their children?
Well, I tell parents, you have to really realize what you're setting your child up for, right? If you constantly, because we have the mindset that they're young, they're running around, they're going to burn it. We don't see the effects, right? But now parents are starting to see the effects because childhood obesity is an epidemic. But right away, we don't see the effects and we think they're burning it all off, but we don't realize we're setting them up for bad habits and things that they're going to continue to do in their teens and in their young adulthood. And next thing you know, they're going to have diabetes. I've heard doctors say they had patients come in with type 2 diabetes at 18, 19 years old, and these kids, they're only doing what they're taught or what they're allowed to do. Don't get me wrong. My kids, they could have McDonald's every once in a while. They can, have a soda, something. I'm not one of those cruel parents that don't let them indulge a little bit. But what I do is I try to reinforce those good foods, those healthy foods, those clean foods, where they are exposed to it. And then I also endorse being active. All of my kids are involved in sports. We work out together. I have dozens and dozens of videos of us working out together. We go out and play basketball and, volleyball, and we swim, different things to show them that an active lifestyle is the way to go, because movement is medicine. And if you start moving at a young age, you'll continue those same habits when you get older.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that. I'm really glad that you mentioned about basketball, volleyball, things like that, because a lot of people think of working out as, there's a difference between working out and movement. Yes. However, if you only work out, let's say 30 minutes 4 times a week, and you don't do anything else,
right,
that is not good for you. Movement is important. And, if you can incorporate things that you love to do or like to do, then it doesn't have to be walking on a treadmill.
Right. 100%. I had a client that's similar situation. She hated cardio. She just, it was a chore for her. I was forcing her to do it. She dreaded it. She, would suck her teeth and really get upset. So I introduced her to boxing. And when we started boxing, it just changed the game. She didn't realize we were still doing cardio, but it was fun. It became fun. Same thing if you're not boxing, cycling. People pick up cycling, Soul Cycle, or swimming. All of these different things. Actually, like I said, my good friend Jackie, who was watching earlier, I don't know if she still is watching. She joined a 40 plus Double Dutch club.
Oh, I love that.
And they're all over. They're in different countries. They're international. And I love that. They do Double Dutch, they do hula hoop, they do hopscotch, and they're just a group of older women that made the decision to stay active and relive their childhood. So they're working out, they're exercising without feeling like it. They're having fun. Listening to music. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so funny you mentioned double dutch because I was about to say I jump rope for my cardio and I love it. Most people think of it as torture, but I could just go for half an hour, 45 minutes because when I was younger, I trained to be on a jump rope team. So
Yeah. And you get back into that childhood. So it just,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I spent hours doing that. So I totally appreciate your friend being on that team. I'm a little bit jealous. I'm not going to lie.
I'll send you the link. I'm pretty sure they have a chapter in California. They're
I'm
literally
gonna have to,
all over the world.
yeah, I'll have to check that out because that's amazing. But see, like that to me would just be fun. It wouldn't be, just like, it's like you said, I actually have a client that only has me to get him to do cardio. Otherwise, he won't do it. But
Right.
still, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not, it's whatever works for you, but why not make it fun?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that. So, what do you do? What do you say to yourself on those days when, maybe you just don't feel like doing what you've committed to do?
So I get out of my feelings. If one, I listen to my body, of course, you got to give yourself rest. We talked about that earlier. But just because I don't feel like doing it, that doesn't mean you don't do it, right?
Mhm.
Like I say, I'm a father. Sometimes I don't feel like being a father, right? I feel like, I don't want to, take the kids to school or do the things that fathers, parents do. I don't want to go to parent teacher conference or things like that. But just because you don't feel like doing it, that don't mean you don't do it. You gotta, when you make a commitment, that's when discipline comes in. That's what being a man and woman of your word. That's when you set those goals and you be like, you know what? These goals were set. I'm not gonna feel like working out every single day, but I have
Mhm.
goals to reach. I have, things that I said I was gonna do. And it's
Mhm.
okay to take a break. It's okay to maybe even fall off a little bit. That's life. We all get distracted.
Mhm.
We have death in families, we have catastrophes, things that's gonna take us off of our road, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean we don't get back on or we don't find another way to get to our goal. So I just get out of my feelings, basically.
That's so well said. I love that so much because I'm one to say, you don't take your temperature before you do something. You just
Right.
do it. Like you don't have to check in with your feelings,
Mhm.
because feelings they come and they go. But the
And
other one,
one more thing, and I've
yeah,
never done a workout that I regretted. I've
me
never
either.
worked out and then afterwards was like, damn, why did I do that? I've always felt good after a workout. So
Yeah. Well, the thing I was going to say too was maybe I don't feel like working out, but I don't feel like being sick either. I don't,
right.
which one do I not feel like more? I think I can handle the workout better than the getting sick. So, or not, feeling good in my own body, which
Mhm.
could happen. So, yeah, no, I'm with you. And something that I did one time, or actually a few times, but I used to, when I worked out at the gym where I worked, it was about a 20-minute drive. And there's days that I just didn't feel like going, but I would go anyway. I was like, okay, if I feel like leaving after 5 minutes, then I'm going to leave after 5 minutes. And there was 2 times where I left after 5 minutes,
I
but I
get it.
went and I didn't feel like it was a fail because
Right.
I did it.
You did it. Absolutely. Yep.
But that's twice out of hundreds of times. So,
Yep. And you listen to your body, and that's okay.
yeah,
Sometimes you
exactly.
just out of it. You need a mental break. How many times you were supposed to go to work and you wasn't sick, you wasn't nothing, your car did start, but you just needed a mental break.
Hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah, well, that was the one thing. That's the one thing I do miss about working in addiction recovery was that was the one job where you could call and say, you know what? I need a day. I can't do it today.
My friend Romy, she's a yoga instructor, and she tells you to, when you wake up, don't do anything unless you have a full body yes. Like make sure you check in and you get a full body yes, and it's a mental thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, like, just if you don't have a full body yes, it's okay to take a break. Just don't, do it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
You work hard, you want it, take a break. It's not at the end of the world.
Yeah, and something else too is like for example, maybe I planned on running and I just am like, I can't run. That doesn't mean I sit at home. I could go for a walk instead.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean all or nothing either. I mean, sometimes it does, but it's okay to change things up according to how you're feeling. Like your body's saying, you know what? No, not today.
Sorry. And that comes with being in tune with your body, and just listening to it. Sorry. A fly got in my house and I had to do a shoe fly.
That's quite all right. So, I'm curious more about your challenge. I want to bring that up again. So you say it's 4 weeks long?
Yes, it's 4 weeks. The challenge starts tomorrow, actually. It's Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So you're on the West Coast, but it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh.
Yeah, so that would be 4:30,
Western.
Pacific. And then on Saturdays, it's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. But the good thing is all of the classes are recorded. So if someone missed a class, I send them a copy of the class so they can actually make up for it. But it's the class.
And I love that. Does this also include, obviously there's going to be mindset involved, but do you do anything with nutrition at all, or is that?
So when I got my specialization in weight loss, it gave me a lot of range because I learned a lot about nutrition. But I partnered up with this company called Optimal Nutrition, where you heard of them?
Yeah, I have.
So what I do is if I get a client, they need a meal plan. They tell me the foods they like to eat and their goals, and then what I do is I'll send it to Optimal Nutrition and they generate a meal plan. That's one way, but I really get into the psychology of nutrition. And I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but I'm just talking about from my experience. I get into it where, like I said earlier about the stress eating, are you hungry or are you just stressed out? So if you're just stressed out, let's find a way to de-stress besides eating food.
Yeah.
I get into foods to stay away from. You want to stay away from fried foods. Nothing good comes from it besides the taste. You want to stay away from high fruits with high fructose corn syrup and these certain vegetable oils, like things that are detrimental, that's not good for you. So I teach people the foods to stay away from. And sometimes when I go down the list, they be like, "Whoa, what's left to eat?" But there's a lot left to eat. But we have to eliminate that first. And also, I introduce something to my client called intermittent fasting.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I live by that. That's my go-to thing when it comes to burning fat, weight loss, and so many other great benefits besides weight loss and burning fat. You talked earlier about slowing down the aging process, and that actually happens when you're in the fasted state as well. Yeah. So I introduce intermittent fasting and things like that. I don't get too deep into the nutrition. I do have a friend that I linked up with. Her name is Jessica, and she's a dietitian. So hit me up if you need a good dietitian. Trust me, she's great. I'll link you guys together.
I love that too, because, I think it's really important when a trainer has knowledge about nutrition, and not that you need to be an expert, but if you don't have even a clue about, what you should and shouldn't be eating and putting into your body and that sort of thing, then really, you're missing an entire part of that wellness journey that is crucial. 100%. Yeah, no, I love that. Plus, then it's the thing where too, that's, because I actually studied way more nutrition than I did exercise and, personal training, even though I am certified, but everybody's a bio individual. So, there's certain things, like you said, the fried foods and the high fructose corn syrup, where that's just a no. There's nothing good's going to come from that. But then there's other things where, like, some people can handle milk products and some people dairy products and some people can't. Or even gluten. Like, most people actually have a gluten sensitivity. Not that they have, like they're allergic or it's like super serious, but it will cause inflammation in their body. So You know, there's certain things that you just have to like, that's where a dietitian would come in and be really helpful to, you know, work with. If you're still struggling with you're eating all the right things and you're still having issues, then that's, you know, another reason why you would want to speak with the dietitian.
Absolutely. And I tell people, you know, you got to be in tune with your body. And you have to be your own science experiment.
Yes.
It took me about 4 or 5 years to like really see what works for me. Like you brought up gluten. I didn't realize that gluten makes me feel bloated. So, and it takes away my abs and, you know, it blows me up in that area. So when if I do eat gluten, but when I'm about to go on vacation or if I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to eat gluten because I want my stomach to flatten up. So you got to know how your body responds to certain foods as well.
Yeah. And like you said, be an experiment. Treat yourself like an experiment because you just don't know until you try. Like I didn't think I had a gluten sensitivity either until I cut it out. I was like, whoa. Even my face was like puffier when I eat gluten, and it's in everything. So it's kind of hard to, you know, eliminate it unless you're really diligent.
Also, you know, you got to be careful with the labels because you'll get labels that'll say gluten free just to get you to buy it, but it's filled with other things that's not good for you. So you got to be careful with that as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Like low fat or anything that has like health claims and it still tastes good, like in the typical sense, then, you know, that's something you should definitely pay attention to and make sure that it actually is healthy. Just because it has a health claim doesn't mean it's healthy for you. So that's a really good point. But something that, you know, you mentioned about your kids, that I wanted to say, you know, that you introduce these healthy foods for them is that even if you've eaten unhealthy or things that are food like substances, or I like to call it recreational sugar. So something that's like candy instead of fruit, you know, your taste buds do change. So the cravings do go away and it doesn't taste the same after a while. So it's not like you're going to be stuck with that forever. But we are a little bit low on time and I want to make sure, is there any like tips or tricks or anything that you want to share or reiterate with our audience?
This goes back to the mindset thing. And I was thinking there's one more piece in the book that I was thinking like, you know what, I need to say this to everyone as well, which is I got a chapter in the book called Love Your Body.
Yes.
The reason why I say love your body is because no matter how your body is shaped, no matter how big or small you are, try not to say I hate my body because psychologically you're destroying what you hate. You know, we don't take care of things we hate, we neglect things we hate, we destroy things that we hate. So subconsciously you really destroying your stomach or your legs. So when you start saying, I love my body, I love myself, like think about it, especially my mothers out there, you know, that got, you know, stretch marks or things like that. Those are warrior scars. Like you're a mother, you bear children. And if any man don't respect that, then he's just a shallow individual. You don't want to be with him anyway. So just love every piece of your body and love it enough to take care of it, to nurture it, to put good things in it so good things can come out of it. And I guarantee you'll have a different mindset on your wellness and you will own your wellness. Absolutely.
Oh, that is beautiful and well said. And I never really thought of, I mean, I say that a lot, but I never thought about it quite the way you put it. And so you just taught me and I appreciate that so much.
Each one teach one.
So one more time, I want to make sure for those of you who haven't had the chance to reach out to Danny on Instagram already, here's his handle so that you can reach out to him. And your weight loss challenge starts tomorrow, right?
Yes. I don't want to say weight loss because we do a full, you know, if you want to build strength, if you want to build your core, if you want to be around a community of other like-minded people that want to work out, we have a Facebook page.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll send you a group page. I'll send, you know, when you sign up, you get the link to that and everything.
Oh, I love that. And I'm glad that you said that too, because it's for everybody, not just, yeah. And it's a community, even better. I love that. Well, Danny, thank you so much for being on the show today. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you. So thank you.
Great talk. I'll stay in touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Oh man, unfortunately that is the end. I could talk to him forever. What a wealth of knowledge and kindness. So reach out to him on Instagram and join the challenge. It'll be fun for accountability as well. For those of you who are coming back soon, we will see you on Thursday, and enjoy the rest of your week, everyone.